power of being the centre of the world, both in terms of economic and militaristic power, which in their essence are deeply intertwined. There are several components for any nation in establishing global dominance, but of course, money forms the foundation to all of it. For years, China has been accumulating gold as both the biggest producer and importer of gold globally. It's difficult to know exactly how much gold they do have within their reserves, but estimates show that China could have anywhere in the vicinity of 5,000 to 10,000 tons of gold. This, in comparison to the USA, who supposedly has around 8,000 tons of gold, a number that could actually be much smaller without any recent records of audits to back it up. The primary reason for China's gold accumulation is to protect themselves from the failing fiat system, primarily the USD. The US holds the power to print fake money to buy real gold. Moreover, they have the power to take on legitimate debt, to pay it back with illegitimate money, trading their valueless money for valuable labour and supply. China is the biggest holder of US debt, a debt that is being paid back with fake money with no value, printed with no limits and constantly subjected to endless inflation. As China seeks to gain a greater portion of SDRs from the IMF in order to make their currency more valued through greater demand, they must do so by first making the Chinese yuan worth more, while simultaneously making the US dollar seem to be worth less. Through the accumulation of massive amounts of gold, China places themselves in a powerful position to create a gold-backed currency, a currency that would logically be worth more, backed by a globally recognized and rare precious metal, than a fake and unlimited paper money that is backed by nothing. Not only is China aiming to undermine the USD, they intend on being the new USD. That is, they understandably aim to be the holder and creator of the new global currency. In doing so, they become the new world power on multiple fronts. The US dollar, which is concurrently the petrodollar, is a formidable weapon of war in itself. By punishing countries with sanctions, tariffs and threats, this fake money, printed on paper worth nothing, backed by an imaginary value worth less than nothing, can and has been making most countries do anything America wants, but only for now. The USD is ultimately why the USA is so powerful. It enables a government to buy unlimited amounts of military hardware, as well as funding the oil and people to run it, whilst concurrently crippling its adversaries economically without firing a single shot. All of it is done on a currency that is backed by nothing but words and make-believe arrangements. Conversely, whilst America places sanctions on Russia, Syria, North Korea and Iran, China gladly picks up this massive gap in the market. Most importantly, they do it all outside of the US dollar, the petrodollar and the existing US-backed banking systems, generating massive amounts of economic growth in markets that are forced to go it alone. As all of this is happening, China has invested heavily in developing their own digital currency, leveraging off the power of blockchain technology. Although technically a cryptocurrency by definition, the DCEP, which stands for the Digital Currency Electronic Payment, is nothing like Bitcoin, in that Bitcoin is decentralized, while the DCEP is most certainly not. China already uses its own forms of digital money, such as WeChat and Alipay. The launch of the DCEP, however, will establish one superior electronic payment method for the entire world, bypassing anything that is American, including the USD, the US Fed, the US banking system, and the US SWIFT network. Concurrently, and just as importantly, from a socialist perspective, it will give China 100% control over its people, ensuring that their spending behaviours and activities are watched, allowing the government to both monitor and cease any payment by anyone at any time for any reason. The removal of all infection risk carried by physical cash is merely a superfluous point of feel-good promotion to transition into the new domestic and international adoption of the new cryptocurrency. For the global market, a digital currency based on immensely superior blockchain technology will allow instant payments with little to no transaction or conversion fees. Further, if the crypto is backed by gold, it will have a legitimate value, thus a genuine demand. Combined with frictionless, feeless, instant global transactions without conversion calculations, or third, fourth, and fifth party commissions, a massive portion of the world's population will naturally shift to the superior way of doing business. Just as I can email you a letter, video, or other file instantly for free, irrespective of where you are in the world and what time of the day it may be, the same is now true for money. The only difference is, while the Western financial systems resist crypto to maximize corporate profits, China embraces it to maximize global dominance, including all the profits within it. Once the world is using the DCEP as the new standard currency, China will more than likely delink it from the gold standard, just as the US did with their currency in the 1970s. This will allow the next generation of unlimited money creation by one nation over all others, just as we have seen with the US fiat model today. Then before you know it, the new superpower is born with unlimited money and military might. The main difference in this transfer of power, however, is that China will not only hold the largest budget in the world, it will also have the largest population to go with it. With these two factors combined, it will hold the world's largest and best funded military, second to none by far. Within years, the new superpower is born to a superior level unfathomable by most today and untouchable by anyone tomorrow. President Xi has already announced that he is going all in on blockchain technology. While the rest of the world fumbles around trying to refine the square wheel that is the fake money called fiat, China is charging forward with the most logical, efficient and effective form of the round-wheeled money that is the new gold-backed digital money of crypto. China will run its money on the blockchain, backed by gold, and likely much more gold than any of us dare to realise. Some say China could in fact hold up to 20,000 tonnes of gold, far more than any other country at any other time in history, making it comparatively impossible to rival. Concurrently, and to make matters worse for America, but better for Beijing, China has been a global leader in state-backed Bitcoin mining, meaning China will, or more than likely already does, dominate the holdings of both physical and digital gold globally. We know that China has been accumulating gold. We know they have been accumulating Bitcoin. We know they hold the biggest amounts of US debt. We also know the USD is backed by nothing, and that China will not sit idle on the development of money, military and global dominance, while the rest of the world is consumed with identity politics, social justice and virus-related lockdowns. The DCEP is not only reasonable or probable, it's strategically and economically undeniable. Unless the West wakes up to the realities and laws of mathematics, money and history, the USD and all fiat currencies associated with it will end up as yet another failed fiat currency like all others before it. So what does this all mean for Bitcoin? An even greater price rise as its technology is embraced by the world globally, leading to a massive increase in demand with an ever-shrinking supply available. Comparative to China's controlled DCEP, no one person or government will ever control the Bitcoin network, nor will they ever be able to touch or take more of it than what they've paid for. While other cryptos such as the DCEP will launch and will be successful, nothing will ever come close to the brand, security, immutability, or decentralized nature, not to mention the value that is Bitcoin. The true digital gold of the world, backed by undeniable scarcity, proof of work, and endless demand, is Bitcoin, and nothing will ever match it. I'm Adam Stokes. Thanks for listening. Don't forget you can buy Bitcoin as well through the links below. Happy investing, and I'll talk to you next time.